Ladies and gentlemen, from First and Goal, the one and only Tyrone Smith. How you doing, Tyrone?
I'm doing good, man. Living the dream, man. Thanks for having me on.
Well, it's not every day I can get somebody from Baylor to come on the show.
Hey, man, trying to represent, man. We're not in the SEC. You're doing the big boy style with your Alabama hat on, but hey, we do what we can. Thankful for it.
Well, it was a good reason why I wanted you on the show, because the real reason I wanted you on the show is all the good work you do right now, and we're gonna get into that. But first off, let's go get down to the bread and butter. Where are you from?
Man, I'm from Houston, Texas, man. Born and
Houston.
raised.
Wow, that's kind of a dangerous city out there. How you holding up?
Hey, man, being thankful for every healthy breath, man, but at the same time being safe and secure at the same time with me and my family. So can't move around a lot, trying to be still, man, trying to mask up, trying to adhere to all the expectations and rules, man, because at the end of the day, man, I'm trying to have a long, healthy life.
That's good, man. That's good. How's the political stuff down there going? All over the country right now, we got protests, riots, we got whatever you want to call it. COVID-19. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. Houston's a major city, so have you all got hit hard by all that stuff?
I mean, of course, man, it's a part of everything that everybody's dealing with, man, as a nation, as a country, but especially us as a city, man. When you think about everything going on with the COVID-19, this great pandemic, and I say great because it's taken over and damaged like a lot of our world, but it won't last forever. And so you got everything going on, with the killing of George Floyd, a Houstonian, and it just pretty much speaks to how sick our world is, man. But at the end of the day, man, everything that I do, man, is about how can I be a change agent in the world that we live in, despite the failures, the faults, the unforeseen circumstances, despite the hardships. I mean, how can I use my voice to make a difference despite all the craziness and madness going on in the world?
Yeah, I just recently saw the whole video of the George Floyd, and it really, I don't know how you can sit there and watch. Everything today is so political.
Right.
And it still touches my heart to see George. Just the beginning of it, saw how he was, just struggling, and it makes me think, what if that was me, if I was George Floyd, I don't want to get this into too political. I saw the whole video today, and it touched my heart to the point where it really messed with my mind. And when I understand, I'm all about, everybody's lives matter, about et cetera, but man, just that George Floyd thing really got to me, and it really hurt my heart. Getting off George Floyd, because this is not about George Floyd, but
no, you're right. It was a totally inhumane situation that took place. That was totally like not justifiable in any sense of the word. And I felt, man, if anybody look at that, man, don't feel some type of way, there's definitely something wrong with you, man, personally.
And yeah, it's sad right now how everything, one way or another, is so political. I mean, right now, I don't make no bones about it. I'm a Republican, I'm a conservative, but I was watching the beginning of the video, when the cops first poured him over, and you could tell how disturbed he was. And being that I was a correction officer, and I dealt with a lot of sick people, it was a lot of better ways in my mind. I'm not here to judge the cops. I can't judge anyone, but I think there was better ways that they could have dealt with George Floyd, and especially you never put a knee to a neck. But it is what it is. I just saw the video today. It really hurt me, and but being in a big city like Houston, I know it's kind of a problem. It's a problem all over the country. But we're lucky we got guys like you who's making a difference, especially with First and Goal. But we won't get into that. I want to get back into your
something right quick. Hey, why did it take you so long to watch the video, if you don't mind me asking, for the first time?
You talking about the cop video, the cop vest?
Yeah, the video was like that was pretty crazy, man.
No. confused me. I saw that video a long time ago.
Right, I'm talking about the other one that you saw. So you just wanted to kind of just
busy. You talking about with the cop vest?
Yeah.
Busy. You know, I watch a lot of political stuff on YouTube. Ben Shapiro, Steven Crowder. And you know, right now, just like with COVID-19, everything's gotta be so political.
Right.
I watched the video, and answer your question, the reason why it took me so long, you know, I'm a private investigator. I also have a second job. I do private investigating part-time now. I don't do it full-time. Then there's Carolyn's Treasure Shop. Then there's this on YouTube. So plus I got 4 kids and a grandchild. 5 kids. 5 kids and a grandchild.
Yeah, wow.
And I'm married, got chores, you know. I don't have time to watch a lot of news. I come home from work and then I'll eat some dinner and I'll put my little phone right there and watch what everyone was on and while everybody else is watching TV. So today, while I was eating a bowl of cereal, I saw that another YouTuber was talking about the video, and it was playing the video. And George Floyd was like, I'm sick. I'm not getting into the video. It was disturbing. I just thought that it was a better way, like me being a correction officer, we've dealt with a lot of sick individuals. And, you know, I'm not going to get into the whole Black Lives Matter and thing. It just, I know in that particular case, there was a better way, at least in my heart. You see that video, and there's no way in hell, there's no way that you can look at the first video of this and tell me that there's no way that you could have handled it. I mean, I'm all for the cops. I'm not a Democrat. But there's no way that you can sit there and tell me that you couldn't try to suit him down, like calm him down. You know, I'm armchair quarterbacking. I go ahead and tell you I'm armchair quarterbacking. But I have a good feeling in my heart that if I was doing that, and I was trying to calm somebody down, there was ways to do it, and that wasn't the way. I feel like they could have done a better job calming him down. But no, George Floyd, I still say is murder. If you can't breathe and you can't do this, and then all of a sudden you take him over to the other side of the road, and then you put knee on the neck,
Though, man, I don't even think it's not a Republican thing. It's not a Democrat thing. I'm not going to even say my political stance. I mean, I don't talk politics.
I don't either. But
it's not a political thing. It's not a Republican, Democrat, conservative, dude. It's an inhumane thing what the cops did. I mean, society really try to break it down as far as a political thing, dude. Really, it's about it's about a group of guys. I said that one officer and a group of guys, man, really just not understanding what it means, man, to care for somebody else's life. It's not a political thing. The world has made it political. You know what I mean? But there's been like a lot of civil unrest in just over 400 years for blacks. You know what I mean? Because I can relate as a black getting pulled over where I get nervous. Most white people don't get nervous when they get pulled over. You know what I'm saying? I get nervous when I get pulled over. Before I was a professional athlete, while I was a professional athlete, and even after, because of everything that actually happened to somebody, my skin color. You know what I'm saying?
I understand where you coming from. I mean, people have explained that to me many times, but trust me, as a private investigator, you get nervous every time the cops come too. Because as a private investigator, you deal with the cops. If I don't get, as a private investigator, if I don't get stopped by the cops, I'm not doing my job right. That's how I kind of look at it. And sometimes you have those nice cops, and sometimes you got those bully cops. And I had some stories to tell that sometimes I'll get that bully cop. And
I too, man, about the political thing. I know you mentioned that, but like I said, it's not a Republican Democrat, dude. It's not. But unfortunately, a crazy, man, inhumane thing that was done.
And unfortunately, like my point was, right now when you see the first video, and you got the conservatives, why didn't we see this? Why didn't we see that? Because I watch more conservative news. I don't care. I tell everybody what my political stance is. But I'm sitting there watching it, and I'm watching him, and I'm seeing him begging. I'm like, you see something's wrong with him. Come on, like, and you kind of like, you're kind of like, please just soften your tonality. Just do this. But I mean, that's armchair quarterback, and I wasn't there. You know, and people got to understand when you got that badge on, you're not fearless. You're scared. And there's been times where, as a correction officer, as you know, working for the Department of Juvenile Justice, even working with kids, you get scared because in my situation, I didn't have. You really don't have that much good backup. But no,
oh man, I have a cousin works in the prison. He was in prison. He never had to use any physical restraints to subdue somebody. And I'm talking about, he worked in a prison with death row inmates, but it's all about, man, how you approach, how you care, what you say, and how you connect with people, man. Yeah. Relationship capacity is big in everything you do in life.
Right. And lucky for me, the NBA helped me out because they told me as soon as I came inside and got the job, they said, look, you're white. Then they're not gonna respond to you. And I was lucky to be a good sports fan. And then comedy. And you know, we'll have talks about who's the greatest, you know, dealing with 15-year-olds. They're talking about Kevin Hart is the greatest comedian of all time. I'm telling them about Eddie Murphy. They losing their mind like, Eddie Murphy. And then, you know, and then we can talk about the 90s in basketball, how, you know, who's the greatest center. I'll say, you know, Akeem Olajuwon. They'll say at the time, Dwight Howard. And I'm like, no, what's. And then you try to school these young cats, and it's like, come on. So it's all about building a relationship, building rapport. But as like to seduce someone, you know, my thing was more fights. You know, that's how we had, you know, that's when it got, and then you always got to worry about somebody behind your back trying to, you know, and then you calling for a 10-10 on the intercom and they're walking, trying to help you out. But I can cry tears in buckets. I can cry tears in buckets all day long about DJJ year. That was the worst year of my life. But yeah, it was all about building rapport. But I think we both agree that the George Floyd thing was senseless. And, you know, I would say first, before anything, I'm not shy about my opinion. I tell everybody my opinion straight up. That George Floyd thing messed me up. And if it didn't mess you up, you don't have a heart. That's just my opinion, but go ahead. I'm moving on after this, but go ahead.
No, you're exactly right, dude. I mean, it boils down to, I'm a black man, you're a white man. We're sitting here, we're talking about it, man, and knowing that it didn't make any sense, knowing that it was inhumane, knowing that it's not about a political issue, it's about a life issue, you know. So now I'm good with it, man. But thank you for bringing it up, man. I'm just glad to hear that you have a pure heart about, you know, how wrong and unrighteous it was. But I'm good.
Well, yeah, actually, you brought it up, and that's what, because I saw it this morning, and yeah, it did. I felt bad for him, but what were we talking about? We're talking about you, man, and we're already 16 minutes in. So let's get down to the bread and butter. Where are you from? Houston, Texas. Okay, so
I'm from Houston, Texas. I'm from 3rd Ward. I mean, I'm from the community where George Floyd stayed, where George Floyd was from. That's kind of why I was able to park it there a little bit, because I grew up in the inner city of Houston. Mom didn't finish middle school, dad didn't finish high school. I wasn't expected to do anything in life. My oldest brother went in and out of prison. My middle brother, he was that kid that pretty much was come to peer pressure. Whatever my middle brother friends encouraged him to do, he would be willing to do it. Here it is, I'm the youngest of 3, not expected to accomplish anything, not expected to do anything, but yet I had a desire and a motivation, man, that drove me. You know, my mom and dad were dedicated, hard workers. My mom was a janitor and a maid. My dad was a truck driver, but they worked hard. And I got that from them in regards to working hard and dedicating myself to whatever it is I actually wanted in life. And my healthy alternative that kept me out of trouble was the game of football.
Well, that's actually what I wanted to get into. So you graduated from what high school?
Woodridge High School.
All right, and you played cornerback in high school, am I correct?
Played cornerback in high school, Woodridge High School, 1 year starter. I only played varsity 1 year. 1 year starter, had over 50 Division I offers. Baylor, Ohio State, Temple, TCU, Rice, UNLV, Kansas State. As a 1 year starter, I was blessed and fortunate enough, man, to go to Baylor University. And the thing about it is, it was just a story of dedication and drive and will. You know, nothing came easy for me. I was picked on as a kid, antagonized, bullied, had low self-esteem, had all these things I had to overcome. But there were people who helped me out along the way to help me realize my dream and my purpose in regards to things I desired and wanted to do.
Now, let me ask you this: why Baylor? You said you got a lot of offers. Why?
When I visited Baylor, dude, I mean, I went there, man. It was just, I felt the connection. I mean, the schools I visited at first was Iowa State, because I went there because they were the first school to send me a letter, the first D1 school. I visited Rice because Rice is close to Houston. Then I visited Baylor, and I was going to visit TCU and Temple, but I didn't visit TCU and Temple because I committed to Baylor on my visit. When I went to Baylor, everything just felt right. They had a real, it's a private Christian school, okay? They had a real solid program for athletes. I mean, so they had a solid football program at the time. The academic structure, man, was really on point because I was the first in my family to go to college. I didn't want to just go to college. I wanted to go to and through college. I wanted to go to college and actually graduate. So when I went there, it just felt right, man. It felt right. And so I was thankful for God putting me in that position, man. I committed on the visit. Went there, graduated in 4 years.
Well, it seems to me, listening to you, that faith had a lot to do with your decision.
Oh, yeah.
All through your life, especially through high school, through college, how important was faith?
Man, faith was instrumental, man, in everything I've been a part of in regards to my life. Because when I was in the fourth grade, moving to the fifth grade, I got in a lot of trouble moving from the inner city of Houston to the suburbs of Houston because people called me this hood ghetto kid, and they picked on me because I didn't know my multiplication or division, and I dealt with low self-esteem. And fast forward to the eighth grade, my parents got divorced, so I was really broken. My parents got divorced, and I really didn't care about school. I didn't care too much about life. And my teacher in the eighth grade, my coach Dennis Brandley, introduced me to a Bible study through the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. I went to this Bible study. I didn't want to go because they had the Bible study before school at 6:30 in the morning. I'm like, Coach, I'm not coming to a Bible study at 6:30 in the morning. He's like, Tyrone, if you come, we have free donuts and orange juice. I was like, dude, sign me up. You know what I mean? I went for the free donuts and orange juice, but I had no idea, Joseph, that my life was going to be changed. I went to this Bible study, man. I enjoyed it. I saw my coach, Dennis Brandley. He was a Christian. He was a believer. I saw how he carried his life. I saw how he lived life. I saw how he loved on his family. I saw how he did things the right way. And I emulated everything I saw in him as a man. Not that I negated my father, but I had this coach, man, who was really like instrumental in everything I've actually done in my life. So to this day, he and I talk at least like once a week. I met him in 1987 as an eighth grader. And so here it is. I felt that God put him in my life, man, to help bring order, guidance, and structure, what I was needing as a 13-year-old at that time.
Well, I mean, that sounds like a moving story. It's so cool because I had teachers and coaches that had impact in my life. But one thing that you and me had in common is that, I always got picked on. I always got bullied. Yeah. People don't understand that psychology wise, it's going to stick with you.
Definitely.
It's two types of people. One that are people that get up, take the beating, but keep getting up. And then there's people like me that were like, well, you know what? Everybody's telling me that I'm not worth a damn, so I guess I'm not.
Right.
And it's not till you one day wake up, and some people wake up late and say, hey, you know what? Maybe what everybody's saying is not true. Maybe if I apply myself, maybe if I study a little harder, maybe if I, work a little harder, I could probably be somebody. But you woke up early and you went to Baylor.
I woke up, but I didn't wake up early. I mean, it was really what helped me, Joseph, man. There was people, man, that I saw that was willing to help me, man, and I gravitated and connected with that. You know what I mean? I mean, so I wasn't this all-star student. I mean, it's just I was thankful for those people who I connected with in my journey to help level set me at that moment when I was dealing with things and going through things at the same time.
Well, luckily for everybody, you did wake up, and we're gonna get to the first and goal. But any recruitment stories you want to share? Nothing that can get anybody in any trouble?
No recruitment stories to share, man. Like I said, I was grateful and thankful for the opportunity to be recruited because I had no idea my senior year that I was being heavily recruited. I mean, think about this for a moment, Joseph. I'm a one-year starter, man. No wide receiver caught a football on me with 20 yards. No touchdowns were caught on me. Right? We talking about Texas football. I mean, I know Texas, Alabama doing their thing. Alabama, Alabama football. But what I'm saying, like, to be a 1-year starter in Tech playing football in Texas, no wide receiver caught a football on me with 20 yards to not get beat for a touchdown to be playing in 5A. I mean, it was phenomenal, but it was a testament about how I was intentional in regards to my work and my dedication, my drive. But dude, at the end of the day, I was like Bobby Boucher on Waterboy, bro. I was in anything that moved, dude, because you left the play another day. You know what I'm saying? I was all in. I was hitting everybody, dude. I was a beast on the field in high school, man.
So what was you like if you was a beast in high school? What happened at college? Did you?
I was a beast in the sense that here it is. I was thinking about this, I was a beast in the sense that I was happy to be playing football on a Friday night, dude. It was like I was just all over the field, dude. I was just excited to be playing under the Friday night lights. You know what I mean? And so that was like truly, man, like something that I always dreamed about. So it was like truly like a testimony, not in the beast that at the same time where like nobody didn't run over me, nobody didn't trouble me. I mean the beast in the sense, man, I was like thankful for that moment in regards to have that time and opportunity, man, to play football game on a Friday night under the lights. I mean, it was just a moment of excitement for me, man, that whole football season, my senior year in high school.
So you moved on to high school. You chose Baylor. To me, I think I don't know if you mentioned this online or maybe recording or you mentioned this during it, but you mentioned Ohio State, and you said Faith had a lot of is one of the biggest reasons why you chose Baylor. Why is it just that you? Well, how I'm trying to say is it just that you wanted to go to Baylor, or you was like a championship, a big program? Was that anything in consideration?
I mean, okay, so think about this for a moment. When you're recruiting, man, it's different variables, right? So Ohio State, they wanted me to come visit like right before, like almost like about a week or two before National Signing Day. You follow me? So I wasn't able to come and visit them any earlier than that because I already had previous commitments, but they want to offer me full. They wanted me to come down to honor the commitment once I went there for a visit. You follow me? But I'm like, I'm not gonna forego everything else and wait like a week before National Signing Days. I mean, so at the end of the day, it really boils down to the decision that you need to make and all the other variables that come into play in regards to the decision that you need to make, whether it's in the school that's recruiting you at the time. You know what I mean? Because the outside looking in, you can hear Ohio State like, but dang, why didn't he go to Ohio State? Well, no, we got all these other things that come into play right now at the time when I had to make the decision. And so at the end of the day, man, an outsider can say one thing, but I was at peace and felt good about the decision that I made by going to Baylor. If I had to do it all over again, I would still go to Baylor because I graduated in 4 years. My last year I was in grad school. I was a 3-year starter. I was a 3-year captain. You know what I mean? I made the most out of the opportunity, man. So even in that decision, I have no regrets. I met my wife there. I mean, what else could a brother do? You know what I mean? So I was good with it. Yeah.
So you ever go back to Baylor? You be one of those players that you'll see on the sidelines, and get the free tickets. Oh no, y'all got to pay for tickets.
I go every now and then. My kids are pretty active, as well. So I go back every now and then, go hang out with the team. Not on the sideline. You know what I mean? Not on the sideline. I've been on the sideline before, but with my kids being active on the weekends as well, we go up there periodically, to get back to the university and to be a part of what they have going on with different events and festivities.
Yeah, I have a buddy of mine. Actually, he was my first guest, and the reason why I like to ask football players about recruitment stories. I'll share you a little story that everybody's probably heard the story a million times, but he went to Ole Miss and he made a decision to go to Ole Miss, and he played around the same time you played. Maybe a little. I think he graduated in '96, but guy from a certain school. I don't know if I want to mention.
Don't mention.
Mississippi State. Anyway, here. So the guy from Mississippi State comes up to him and he's like, he made a commitment to go to Ole Miss. So the guy from Mississippi State drives down. He can tell the story better than I can. And he says, look, the guy at Mississippi State, we'll give you whatever Ole Miss is giving you. And David looked at him. He said, what, a scholarship? Like, what? He's giving me if you know David, David is one of these, he's not much to mix words.
Right.
He's kind of an investigator like I am, and I work for him sometimes. But he actually he helps sponsors this show actually. But he's not somebody like to mix words, and he I can just picture a young David Evans just sitting there like what can you offer me? Like, I don't understand, because he's not clicking with him. It's not like what he's trying to say. And he's got so many stories which I can't repeat, but he has some fun times. But you got out of Baylor, and it sounded to me you had a great college career. You're something. You probably something of a, I wouldn't say legend, but somebody that Baylor fans still remember. Like Alabama fans, we still remember, certain players that, live civilian lives. But you get out Baylor and you go to the NFL, and you went to the San Francisco 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
You played with people like Jerry Rice, Steve Young. You was in the same locker room with these people.
Yeah.
Stepping foot in the San Francisco 49ers locker room for the first time, and you seeing people that you grew up watching.
Yeah.
How did it feel?
Yeah, to actually play, man, for the 49ers, man, it was truly an honor, man, and a blessing to play for the 49ers, to play with Jerry Rice, Steve Young, Dana Stubblefield, Brian Young, Terrell Owens, and I were rookies together. We came in together as rookies. And so to play Chris Dolman, who passed
Alabama guy.
Yeah, definitely.
Alabama City.
Definitely. So to play with those guys, man, was definitely like a dream come true. And it was an honor, man. So to play with a team that has such a rich history of winning, such rich history, man, of doing things the right way, man, was truly a joy, personally, for me to actually play the game of football there with the 49ers.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine just like I bet for me, was it just another day in the office? Like, hey, look, I'm in the NFL. I'm gonna make my opportunity, or was it just like, wow? Like me personally, if I saw Steve Young at a grocery store, I'd be like a little schoolgirl, like. But anyway, so you also did some time in NFL Europe with the Dragons, Barcelona Dragons. What was the difference between NFL football in America and NFL Europe? I used to watch it a little bit.
You got paid, dude. The only difference was the amount of money that you got paid. You know what I mean? But the thing about it is, the same game, same rules, same size of the field. You play against other guys who play in the NFL, guys who maybe hadn't been in the NFL. I think each team had like 5 national players from a particular country that you actually played for. So the thing about it is, man, was guys that were just hungry to still play the game, because most guys were actually allocated from the NFL teams to play. So allocated means that your NFL team would send you over there to play just to get some reps, man, during the springtime. So the NFL Europe, it was a phenomenal opportunity, man, to play with guys that went on to play in the NFL for long careers, and just to kind of have that experience to play the game of football in another country, like to play like in Barcelona, right? And then to travel to Germany, to London, to Scotland, you know what I mean? Berlin, all these historical places to play the game of football was truly an honor and a blessing.
Well, how many years altogether in the NFL and NFL Europe were you in?
5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
Did you get the retirement?
Nope. No retirement, bro.
You missed out, man.
Right now, man. But I love what I do, though.
And that's what we're gonna get into. This is the bread and butter. The reason why I want you on the show. I like when what this show is really about. I mean, I like to have athletes. I like to have old Alabama players. I like to have entertainers. You know, I've had people like Sean Cannon, David Evans, Marvin Constant. You know, I have the real Vince Papala. This is with people like you that come. That's the reason why I wanted you. People like Vince Papala. His movie. He had a movie made about him, Invincible. You've probably seen it.
Yeah.
Jim the Rookie Morris. They made a movie about him. One day they're gonna make a movie about you. But Nikita Koloff. I don't know if you ever watch wrestling. Yeah, okay. So the reason why I like having these people because they bring out like a message that I think people today really need to hear. Well, 2020 has been probably, it started early with Kobe Bryant. I mean, it started early. It was like, hey, and I think today, more importantly, people forget that, it's like for example, I like listening to Grant Cardone. I think I said his name right,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like telling, he'll go on Facebook, wake up, people. Even though he's trying to sell a product, he's telling good advice. Like, nothing.
Right.
Only person that can hold you back is you. You can talk about religion, you can talk about politics, you can talk about race, and you say all that stuff's holding you down. Bottom line is, you got to get up. And people like Jim the Rookie Morris, people like Vince Papala, people like Nikita Koloff, people like you are the people that I strive to be like. And because y'all got this message that is telling people, hey, look, you may have it rough. I had it rough.
Yeah.
You can succeed in life. And that's what First and Goal does. And so I'm not gonna say no more. Won't you tell the people at home what First and Goal is really all about?
Yeah, First and Goal is a nonprofit organization that me and my wife and one of my former teammates started over 20 years ago. It'll be 20 years actually in October. And based on the fact that I was picked on, antagonized, and bullied, and had low self-esteem, I wanted to create an organization and platform that would actually impact the lives of young people. And through First and Goal, that is what we do. Our mission is to provide the necessary tools, resources, and outlets, Joseph, for individuals to be effective members of society. So what we do, we go into a school setting and we talk to students about choices, decisions, purpose, self-awareness, setting goals, conflict resolution, how to address all those unaddressed things that may be holding them back to becoming the best version of themselves. And so we go in schools and work in the group setting. Our primary program is our Current Share Mentoring program. And through the Current Share Mentoring program, we go into school in the group setting and we sit down with students. And what we found out that when we went to these schools, these students, they had no idea about college. They didn't know how to lead their lives the right way. They didn't know how to deal with learned behaviors they picked up from mom, dad, cousin, uncle, next door neighbor, that what they were doing that were negative, that were really leading them in the wrong direction. So what we found out is that, okay, we're seeing in this group session that these kids need so much more. So we established a leadership initiative. We established a group mentoring, a college experience program. We established academic based encouragement program. We started doing after school programs. And so what we do, man, is really try to help young people to become better version of themselves. And I enjoy the work, man. I'm thankful to have opportunity to use my influence to make an impact in schools across the state of Texas. And we've done work nationally as well. But to know that we have an opportunity, man, to change the mindset and the perspective of a young person based on their way of thinking is phenomenal. Because when you think about it, man, everything we learn is learned behavior. There are things that we've learned that we've seen somebody do, Joseph, that we thought that was okay, but they were wrong and they got away with it. And we put that in our mind, maybe we can do it, although it was wrong. But at the end of the day, how can we shift that mindset? By sitting down, getting to the core of what young people think about, how they go about life, and how can we help them level set to have goals. How can we help them put together a plan to go to college? How can we help them understand and know it's not about going to college, but it's about going to and through college? How can we help them understand and realize what it is that they desire to do in regards to their specific purpose? And so, man, I love the work, man. Like I said, we'll be celebrating 20 years in October. And just to have an opportunity, man, to make the impact that we do, man, I'm thankful for each and every day.
I'm going to ask you a tough question. And usually I'll get the whole, oh, everybody I helped, it made a difference. But I want you to look back in the 20 years. Was it someone that you look back and is like, he touched your soul, it touched your heart helping that person, and then he was a success story, and he stayed a success story. Somebody that you met that was like, he was like, hey, I got to help this guy, or help this woman.
I'm gonna tell you right here. Here we go. This is the person come to mind. Okay, you're not gonna too much care for him. You got the Alabama hat on. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna care for him. All right. So we got this program called the Current Show Mentoring Program. And so with our Current Show Mentoring Program at A-Leaf ISD, we work with 5th and 6th grade students. All right. 5th and 6th grade students. So here it is. I had this one kid. Typically, Joseph, they're only in the program for 1 year. This kid was in the program for 2 years. All right. It's a 5th and 6th grade campus. It's an intermediate school. This kid was in the program his 5th grade year. The kid was in the program his 6th grade year. I'm not going to say he was bad. He was active. I don't call kids bad. I just say that they're active. But he was borderline right there. He was a very active kid. I get a direct message on Twitter about 5 years ago. Right at 4.5 years ago. Mr. Smith, man, thank you for everything, man. I appreciate the work you did for me. He said, you may not remember me, but my name is Kerry Vincent Jr. Kerry Vincent plays at LSU, number 5, Kerry Vincent. He was a 5th and 6th grade. He was a part of our program. He said, you may not remember me. I moved from Houston to Port Arthur. He said, I'm an academic All-American. I'm a football All-American. I'm a track All-American. I can go to any college in the nation. I'm an ESPN top 10. I'm an Under Armour All-American. And he said, you know what? But I just want to thank you for you and your team and the work that you did for coming to our school and working me. I never forget everything. Now, mind you, this kid was a 5th and 6th grade. You know Kerry Vincent Jr.? You know of him?
Mm-hmm.
So this kid was a 5th and 6th grader. Here it is, his senior year in high school. He messaged me through Twitter. He sends me a direct message. I was like, wow. Now I remembered him, but now here this dude was like, when he was a 5th and 6th grader, he was a very active kid. He got in his trouble. But for him to message me 6.5 years later, when he's not even staying in Houston, bro, that was the icing on the cake. That validated, and then all the other students that we work with validated the work that we do, man. But I mean, his story is like a unique story because remember, he was a 5th and 6th grader. Then he moved out of town. He circled back around, right? And thanked and appreciated me for the work that I did with him. Then, you know, at LSU, you know what I'm saying? They won the national championship. You know, we mess each other probably like maybe about once a month. You know what I mean? And I was really happy for him. We kind of went through his whole season last year together, man. Messed each other each and every week, man, about the season, embracing the moment. But to get the message from him, man, over 4.5 years ago, it's bigger than the national championship that he won at LSU. But for him to message me like 4 years or so ago, and then see the success he's having right now, you know, it was just truly a joy, man, in regards to the work that we do as an organization and team.
Well, first thing about that comment, you know, I was very proud of LSU. I'm proud of anybody winning national championship.
I'm got that cap on with the A, bro. I'm just saying.
No, I mean, I don't. When I watch football, I got 3 teams. I got the Bulls, I got the Falcons, and I got Alabama. You know, I don't. You know, once you're playing against Alabama, I'm cheering for you. I'm cheering for Alabama, and you know, that's your tush. He's a Christian. I don't want to cuss. That's your tush. That's your butt. But you know, once Alabama's out, as long as you're not Auburn, I don't care. You know, win the chest. You know, Auburn. No, I won't root for you. I'm not rooting for Auburn. I don't care. Auburn can be playing Tennessee Tech. I don't care. I'm not rooting for Auburn. But anyway, no, but that's a very inspirational story, and that just shows me and should show everybody that's watching why we need more people like you in this world. Somebody that is now this is not feeding your ego or anything, but we really do. We need more people like you to show these young kids, not just not somebody just in Houston, but the whole country.
Yeah.
You know, white, black, Asian, Puerto Rican, you know, no matter what, everybody in this country needs to look at somebody like yourself and look at this program and
Man, dude, man, thanks for having me on, Joseph, man. You know what I'm saying? My white brother from my other mother. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for having me on, man. Deuces to you, man. I appreciate it. They can definitely, like you said, they can check us out on teamfirstandgoal.org, TEAMFIRSTANDGOL.org. And they can holler at me as well on TyroneSmith24.com, where I, speak, connect with schools, wrote a book, can connect with my book Outside the Huddle. But man, definitely thanks for having me on, man. And keep doing the work that you're doing, brother. What's up?
Forgot about Outside the Huddle.
Yeah, hey, dude, it's good. We good, dude. My book is titled Outside the Huddle. Definitely support it, bro. They can go order my book on my website, TyroneSmith24.com. My name spelled out TYRONESMITH24.com. But yeah, Outside the Huddle. It's basically, Joseph, a book about my life, my story, my journal, my life, my story, my journey, where I share 8 practical principles about my life and how I live and give real relevant examples about my story. So yeah, hey, dude, it's all good, man.
Check it out, Outside the Huddle. I am going to read that book. Man, it's been Tyrone. It's been an honor and a privilege. Stay on the line. I got one more thing to ask you.
Okay.
Everybody else, hey, see you next Sunday. And don't forget to subscribe. Everybody needs to subscribe. I need more subscribers. Thanks, right, Tyrone. Stay on the line.
Okay, good deal.
Kelsey! Kelsey, you could have got hurt. Why would you do this?
I went to Angel's Thrift Store where Carolyn's Treasures keeps all their inventory and bought you your favorite ring.
Girl, you must have lost your damn mind.
If you don't like it, why not just kick your butt?
Kelsey, I'm sorry.